This is the AHSAA Weekly, your inside look at everything happening with the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Presented by America's First Federal Credit Union. I'm John Holder. Coming up on this week's program, we've got Jana Killen, longtime legendary volleyball and girls basketball coach at Deshler High School in Tuscumbia. The court at Deshler named in her honor just a few weeks ago. We will speak with her. Also this week, we will look ahead to the AHSAA Game of the Week here on WOTM on Thursday night, a Class 1A matchup between Autaugaville and Maplesville. Javaris Jackson, the head coach from Autaugaville, and also Brad Abbott, the head coach of the Maplesville Red Devils, will join us to preview the game. And we'll have David Holsford's highlights from volleyball and football action from across the state of Alabama. That and more on this week's edition of the AHSAA Weekly, presented by America's First Federal Credit Union.
Every bank has their own app, but it's just that, theirs. At AmFirst, our app was made for you, so you can personalize your dashboard, pay your bills, and redeem points for rewards you'll love. Get the app made for you at AmFirst.
We are back on the AHSAA Weekly, and we have a very special guest joining us this week. We're going to talk about one of the most tradition-rich athletic programs in the state of Alabama at Deshler High School in Tuscumbia, up in the Quad Cities. And one of the reasons that this program has been so tradition-rich and so successful through the years in all sports is because of our guest, Coach Jana Killen, joins us at this time. Coach, thank you for spending time with us here on the AHSAA Weekly.
Thank you, John, for having me on the show.
Well, we are going to talk about multiple sports because you're a multi-sport coach, but we'll begin with volleyball. Your team, again, getting ready to participate in the North Super Regional Volleyball Tournament coming up on Thursday. You'll meet Curry in Class 4A action. Tell us about this year's volleyball team there at Deshler.
This year's team is really exciting to watch. We have 11 seniors, a junior, 2 juniors, and a sophomore, so we're experienced, and we should have a lot of leadership out there, but they've been a really fun group to coach.
You have been so successful, obviously 800 wins last year. You got the 800th win in basketball, almost that many in volleyball. Just tell us about, and tennis, we don't want to leave that out as well. Kind of tell us about how you juggle all 3 of these sports and so successfully coaching all 3 of those sports in every season of the year, fall, winter, and spring.
Well, time management is everything, and having kids that play multiple sports where you're with them constantly, that has a lot to do with it. But as the past couple of years, I haven't done tennis, so I was able to hire somebody to come in to do tennis. So I've only been doing volleyball and basketball the past couple of years.
Coach, tell us about going back to volleyball. Of course, the goal is for everyone that gets into the state tournament is to go to the state volleyball championships. Deshler certainly has been there before. Tell us about the chances for this team. What do they have to do to make it to the state championships?
We have to go in there and play our game, not get nervous, and play like we've played all year, and we've got a really good chance. But, last year we went to the regionals. We sort of were nervous. It was like that group's first time to be in that atmosphere. So hopefully last year will help us for this year.
Coach, earlier in the school year, a tremendous honor. The court there at Deshler High School was named for you, Jana Killen Court. What, just describe for us the emotions, how that feels, the meaning of having that permanent legacy there at Deshler High School.
I found out about it last January, and it was very exciting, but we actually got on the court this past Friday and were able to play Saturday's area tournament. And when we actually got on the court and I saw the name for real, it was a unreal feeling. It's just a feeling of honor, a very humbling feeling. And it was amazing. I was very happy my mom got to see it, and it was special. Deshler is a special place.
It sure is, and Coach, you've been a big part of what makes that a special place. The transition, when you go from volleyball season, right on the heels of volleyball comes basketball. Kind of take us through how you handle that transition so very quickly from one season in one sport right into the other?
Well, we try to give them a couple of days off and then go to it and start, bringing out the basketballs. The kids that do not play volleyball, they started today for their first official practice, or yesterday, excuse me. And, but the kids that play volleyball, we're in volleyball, but they take 2 days off and they're ready. And I'm ready and they're ready. So we don't, rest for long.
Coach, congratulations on having the court named in your honor there at Deshler High School in Tuscumbia. Best wishes to you and your team, not only in volleyball, but with basketball cranking up very soon, for a successful year. And thank you for what you mean to young people, what you mean to the folks there in Tuscumbia, and for joining us here on the AHSAA Weekly.
Thank you very much for having me.
Coach Jana Killen, she is the head volleyball and girls basketball coach at Deshler High School in Tuscumbia, joining us here on the AHSAA Weekly. Back in just a moment.
Looking for a perfect checking account? Don't waste your time. No minimum balance, no monthly fees, and a convenient app. Now you could try and find that at a bank, or you could save yourself the trouble by checking with us.
The AHSAA Weekly, presented by America's First Federal Credit Union, rolls on now, previewing this week's AHSAA Game of the Week. It's our statewide Game of the Week here on WOTM. Thursday night, we will be in Ottauguaville and Maplesville. We caught up with the head coaches of both teams. Here's Javaris Jackson of Ottauguaville and Brad Abbott of Maplesville. Just your assessment so far of this football team. There can't be a lot that you are displeased with, I would think, at this point in time.
Oh, not at this particular time, no, sir. We're very surprised to be where we're at. We had a lot of question marks coming in this year, but we have an outstanding senior class that has really stepped up, took on the leadership of this team, and have got us in this position that we're at right now.
Coach, let's tell folks about some of those seniors perhaps that have been leaders for your team, that folks that are watching this game around the state on the 21st that they probably want to become familiar with in your Maplesville program.
Yes, we're lucky to have 4 of those seniors on our offensive line. Really, we have 5. Sometimes we'll go in a heavy sets. We have another senior that comes in, and we'll have he's lined up as a tight end, but he has a lineman number. He's like 280. He's not a tight end, but those 5 guys are really the key to this year. Trayvon Blackman, Hayden Lolly, Cole Gray. We got Mason Poe, who's a junior. We have Adolphus Harris, who's a senior, and Austin Johnson. Those 6 guys have really been the focal of our offense this year. Brady Harrison, who runs the fullback for us, he's knocking at 1,000 yards already this year. And of course, in small town football, y'all know that most of those guys are also going to be across the line on defense as well. So a lot of those guys are playing defensive line. Brady is our inside linebacker. And like those seniors right there with Cole Gray at offensive guard have really been leaders and been the focus of our team this year.
Coach Abbott, let's talk about that defense, because when you start looking at 2021 Maplesville Red Devil football, you see 7 wins at this point in time, and 4 of those wins have been via shutout. You have won the majority of your games, not even allowing a point. Tell us about the defense that you've got this year at Maplesville. It's been outstanding.
It has been, and I tell you, we really didn't see this coming. Those guys, they have taken a lot of pride in that defense this year. They're scrappy. We're not very big on that side of the ball, but they do get after. They fly to the football. They understand their assignments. They understand it takes all 11 of them to get those goose eggs up there. They play well, communicate well together, and like you said, it's been something we weren't expecting that defense to step up like it has, but it has shown to be one of the better ones in the state, definitely.
No doubt about that. Speaking of being one of the better ones in the state, Maplesville, for folks that don't know, maybe don't keep up with small school football, Maplesville through the years takes a backseat to no one when it comes to the quality of football. Maplesville has won over 600 games. Coach, your program has been one of the top programs in the state in any classification down through the years. Just tell us about the rich tradition of Maplesville football.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I think that has a lot to do with this team's success. And we talked about at the beginning of the year, that there's nothing they can do that hasn't been done here. You know, we talked about they're in a special place. There's some schools out there that, you know, they're still trying to win that first state championship. There's some schools that are trying to first have that 10-0 season, you know, or win that first region championship in their school history. But here, it's already been done. So they can't do anything that has not already been done. But at the end of the year, they've got to ask themselves, what is their +1? What is going to be their plus? What is that year 2021 going to be in our Maplesville history? Is it going to be another region championship? Is their +1 going to be another state champion? You know, what is your +1 is what they've got to realize, because they're part of what you mentioned, a rich tradition. And in the end, it's about what year 2021, where are they added to our history, rich history here? And they've really took that in and have really use that kind of a motivation for them, especially a team that a lot of people didn't have a lot of hope for this year, as far as, you know, rebuilding. A lot of seniors graduated the last 2 years. But when we put that in front of them, that it doesn't matter who graduates or who's not. It's about your +1. Where are you going to be in a part of this Maplesville history that you mentioned was so rich? And that 600 victory they got to be a part of was big for them to know. We've added that to our history. Now, where are we going to go? Because I told him, I said, that's not going to make that banner we have in the end zone. The only thing that goes on that banner is the years we win region championships and the year we win state championships. So that's where you want to be a part of, one of those two categories. But anyway, it is a special place. And like you mentioned, it is a long, rich history. And our community, you know, gets behind our program here. And we're fortunate most of our coaching staff played here. And so that family atmosphere and being a part of something that's been around since, you know, like you mentioned, for a long time, it's very special to us here. We definitely, we don't run from it. We embrace it here.
Just tell us about your football team so far this year.
Oh, we've been doing good. We had a little slip up against highly ranked Notasulga. We lost to them by 3 points, but we have wheeled off 5 straight victories. And then we had a little hiccup last week, but we'll continue to keep fighting, keep pushing, practicing hard, and just getting ready for our next game.
Well, of course, before we get to Maplesville, the game that folks will see statewide here, you got another game coming up before that, which is double tough with Lochapoka. But let's talk about some players on the team. Who are some of the folks, when they're tuning in from around the state and watching this great small school matchup, who are some players that folks need to look out for Otagoville?
Well, no, for starters, they need to look out for my quarterback, Jaden Nixon. He's a 6'3" junior. He's had a couple games with multiple touchdowns. I also have a running back. He's also as a junior, Jamarcus Golson, number 30. He's been carrying the load for us pretty good. I have another 6'3" wide receiver, Ladarian Golson, who also plays defensive end for me, which he has been really, you know, a good key player for us this year. And also we have another back that kind of switching back between offensive line, Jamarcus Rose. So they've been carrying the load for us this year. We've been pretty solid. I only have 3 seniors, so, you know.
The future does look bright. Coach, for folks that are not familiar maybe with 1A football, but especially in your part of the state of Alabama, this I think they're going to be surprised by the level of talent and the number of athletes that folks like Otagoville and Notasulga and Lochapoka and Billingsley and all those kind of folks that can throw out. Just speak to that about the level of competition in your part of the state in Class 1A.
Well, in Class 1A in our region right now, we have a total, in our region just alone, we have a total of 4 teams that, you know, either been ranked or nominated. We have been nominated. Lochapoka has started the season off ranked. Notasulga started the season off ranked. Maplesville has started the season off ranked. So in our region alone, that's 4 teams in the top 15 in the state of Alabama. So that just goes to show that our region is a tough region. It's a deep region. A lot of football talent in this region. So it's been great the last 2 years for me and for my players for us to get better, because we have been in the same region for 2 years, and most teams in our region are ranked. So that's a plus.
Tell us about the challenge that Maplesville, they're undefeated. They've shut out 4 of their 7 opponents going into this week's game with Verbena. I know you haven't looked at them closely yet because you've still got a big game with Lochapoka coming up. But
right.
What do you know and what do you see on the other side with Maplesville?
Well, no, Maplesville is going to be tough. Maplesville was tough last year. they're going to be tough again this year. Mapleville is a very well-disciplined, well-coached, well-trained team, and they pretty much do everything the right way. So we're going to have to go in. We're going to pretty much play them, have a great practice, and we're going to have to play them flawlessly because they're going to come in, like you said, they're going to, they're undefeated right now. So I know we got a tough task on our hand, but, I think we're up for the task. We're up for the task to kind of slow them down a little bit. So we're going to be working hard and striving for it.
Every bank has their own app, but it's just that, theirs. At AM First, our app was made for you, so you can personalize your dashboard, pay your bills, and redeem points for rewards you'll love. Get the app made for you at AM First.
Wrapping up this week's edition of the AHSAA Weekly, presented by America's First Federal Credit Union, David Holzford's highlights. David Holzford of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, putting together both volleyball and football highlights from across the state of Alabama. We're going to begin in football in South Alabama, Geneva and Bullitt County in Class 4A action. Geneva wins the game 41-14, and it was the Timothy McReynolds show. The 5'7", 160-pound athlete had 5 touchdowns, including 2 on defense in that big win by the Geneva Panthers. And we pick up the action with number 1. You'll see McReynolds right here taking a handoff for the score as he goes down the left side of the line into the end zone for the Geneva touchdown. Then moments later, watch this play. There's a pass completed across the middle to a Bullitt County wide receiver down the field, and McReynolds rips the ball away from the wide receiver, then sprints down the home sideline 95 yards for another Panthers touchdown. That is actually going to be recorded as a fumble recovery for a touchdown. But he was not through on the defensive end. We're going to see him right here scoring on a pick 6. Very easy. Right in front of the Bullitt County bench, intercepts the pass, and is not touched as he sprints down and actually walks into the end zone for yet another Geneva touchdown. And he's going to polish off the night with 2 more scores. Here's another long touchdown run, again going virtually untouched down the far sideline for another Geneva touchdown, one of 3 offensive scores that McReynolds had on the night. And he's not done yet. Here's McReynolds again from just inside the 30. This is a 28-yard screen pass, eluding a blocker, breaking a tackle, and then he takes it into the end zone for yet another touchdown as the Panthers clinch a playoff berth. Just down the road, 2A power G.W. Long taking on Geneva County at Hartford. Rebels quarterback Kobe Stringer takes over, finding receiver Jakir Redding on this beautiful pass for the touchdown as the Rebels take a 7-0 lead early. With Long leading 14-0, Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Emmanuel Henderson shows off his talent and speed by zipping through all 11 defenders to the end zone, putting Geneva County on the board for the first time in the second quarter. Ahead 28-20, Stringer connects with Hayes Horn, who jumps over a defender and makes it into the end zone for G.W. Long. Henderson, meanwhile, would rush for 207 yards and 3 touchdowns, but the Rebels would notch a 49-20 win, G.W. Long winning on the road at Geneva County against Emmanuel Henderson, headed to the University of Alabama and Geneva County as they win the game in Hartford on Friday night. Now we bring you exciting volleyball highlights from Auburn, where the Tigers hosted rival Central of Phoenix City in the Class 7A Area 4 tourney. Anna Gray Sessions, Rebecca Dunn, and Jaden Jordan pacing Auburn's attack, leading the Tigers to a 3-0 win while advancing to the AHSAA Class 7A South Super Regionals, winning the match sets 3-0, clinching a berth in the 7A South Regionals coming up in Montgomery. Auburn the winner in a shutout over Central of Phoenix City. We stay with AHSAA area tournament highlights generated between Mountain Brook and Homewood in the Class 6A Area 9 finals. The Spartans win 3-0 thanks in part to the strong play at the net by Greer Golden with 21 kills, Lucy Redden with 15 kills, Hannah Hitson with 14, and setter Hannah Parent with 63 assists for the tourney. Mountain Brook and Homewood head to the North Super Regional this week. Some great volleyball action in Jefferson County at Mountain Brook High School. And with 108 area tournaments completed last week, we check out the highlights of St. Luke's Episcopal 3-1 win over Mobile Christian in Class 3A Area 1 action in Mobile. We see Audrey Smith, Ella Bryant, and Gracie Wallace sparking the Wildcats to the tourney title and a trip to the South Super Regional in Montgomery. Great volleyball action from down in the port city of Mobile between St. Luke's Episcopal and Mobile Christian. Next, we take you to homecoming at the Bailey Sportsplex in Alexander City. Benjamin Russell playing host to Chilton County. For all the highlights, we take you to the Ben Russell radio crew, Randy Lee and Brett Pritchard.
Cameron Vickers at center this time. Snap, Ty Williams. A little bit of reverse over here. DeMarcus got upfield, 15, 10, 5. He's gone! Wing! Down here to the bottom, one up there to the top. Going to be a handoff to DeMarcus McNair. No, Ty's going to keep it. He's inside the 5. He's going to go!
Wildcat 35. Wildcats lead 13-7 with 4:43 to go here in the third.
Pistol formation. Gets the snap under pressure. Going to throw a pass over here. Broke a tackle. He's gone. Touchdown, Chilton County. Tried to snap it. 2 seconds. Takes the snap. Ty's going to run around. Throws a pass. Caught! Touchdown! Wildcats! DeMarcus at the 7. Ty takes the snap, runs right, gonna pound.
We continue with highlights of Booker T. Washington hosting Dale County at Tuskegee in Class 4A Region 4. Hornets quarterback Elijah Hall races 73 yards for the score as Booker T. Washington ties it up in the first quarter. Now ahead 28-13. Hall again, he's going to step forward, will fake the run, and this time he's going to fire a pass to Michael King, streaking down all alone down the sideline. And the receiver never breaks his stride, on his way to a touchdown and a 34-21 win. Next, it's Calera and Wetumpka, Class 6A Region 3. Wetumpka 15-0 lead over Calera, thanks in part to quarterback Nathan Rogers. See him faking a handoff and running to the corner of the end zone for the score. Then Wetumpka is going to score again to keep things close in the second quarter, when on the ensuing kickoff, in an effort to kick it away from Calera wide receiver and University of Alabama commit Kobe Prentice, the Indians kicked to Braylon Farrington instead, and he streaked 85 yards on the return for a Calera touchdown. Great play by that young man from Calera. Trailing 23-22 in the second half, Eagles quarterback Preston Stokes connects with Justin Green, who beats the defense to the end zone, and Calera takes a 28-23 lead. Wetumpka would battle back, though, as Rogers and Rodrice Merkerson hook up for a touchdown and a 29-28 lead. Calera proved too strong, however, as they scored on this play at the very end of the game to take a 34-29 not only lead, but a 34-29 win, Calera over Wetumpka. We move to Jefferson County now, where undefeated Clay Chalfant squaring off with defending 6A state champion Pinson Valley. Indians quarterback Zach Pyron fires a 34-yard touchdown pass to Amari Thomas on the first possession of the game. Clay Chalfant wasn't fazed. Running back Edward Owsley sparked the Cougars with that 2-yard touchdown run. One of 5 touchdowns he would score before the night was over, and he polished off the win and the region title with TD runs of 28, 2, 1, and 3 yards the rest of the night, as Clay Chalfant wins this one 42-23. Douglas High School's best season in a while continued to take an upward swirl as the Eagles down West Point 34-14, thanks to plays like this one from quarterback Eli Till, who pitches to Jonathan Fontaine for a Douglas touchdown to take a 13-0 lead. Later in the third quarter, West Point has its biggest play when a Douglas pass is tipped in the air and West Point's Ashton Threlkill grabs it and races to the end zone for a touchdown. Exciting and crazy play right there. See the fans on the West Point side going crazy. The Eagles of Coach Brandon Wiles improved to 5-3. Next week, catch up with the NFHS crew from Jackson. Jackson playing host to Mobile Christian for this exciting play.
The Aggies take over 1st and 10 at the 35. Walter Taylor back to pass, takes a look. Hone in on his receiver, number 21, finds him deep. Beats the leopard coverage, and a number 21 back deep to receive for the Aggies. High pooch kick. Caves takes it at the 25, breaks the first tackle. He's in the open field to the 20.
We won't be able to
10
catch
to
him.
The 5. Touchdown Aggie.
The year as a corner, but has done a really good job for us in recent weeks. And he was right there. I don't know about the interference call, but it didn't matter.
Yeah. They snap it to the up back. He takes it and
did not get
just
there.
short. Could not get there.
And then this passing gem from Thomasville quarterback Bo Bryant to Justin McCrary, who makes the leaping grab, giving the Tigers the early lead in Class 3A Region 3 against Montgomery Academy. MA quarterback Thomas Woodard and running back Jamal Cooper, they resort to a little razzle-dazzle with this handoff and halfback throw for a touchdown. The Eagles then cruise to a 34-16 win with Rustin Bassett scoring the final touchdown for Montgomery Academy on this fine run as Montgomery Academy goes into Thomasville and they beat the Tigers. Scottsboro and Southside turn in a number of exciting plays in the Wildcats' 27-26 upset win of the Panthers. This is Southside quarterback Gage Neesmith finding Timothy Moats for this touchdown to cut the Scottsboro lead to 21-19. Now late in the second half, and the Wildcats trailing 26-21, Scottsboro calls on Caleb Lynch, who throws another halfback pass that sets up the Cats at the 5-yard line, and sophomore Keelan Alvarez scores the winning touchdown as Scottsboro escapes with the win 27-26 at Barney Hood Stadium in Southside. Now our highlights take us back to Jefferson County, Vestavia Hills and Spain Park at Vestavia. This is the Vestavia Hills High School NFHS school broadcast team with the call of these big plays in 7A Region 3 between Spain Park and Vestavia Hills.
Two receivers to the top of your screen, one to the bottom. It's going to be a handoff now, reverse, back.
He's got the block.
He's got the block, and he's in.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Under center look, Nutter is, and he is going to hand it off to the backfield and like a fullback position. Towns getting in shotgun. He's going to roll to the left, and he's going to take off running. Towns dives to the end zone.
He's got it.
Did he get in? Yes, he did.
Don't hand it to him, so he's got a lot of room to run over there.
And he's going to keep it himself, John Paul Hedges, and he breaks a tackle. In the end zone he goes, and touchdown.
And finally, we close out the highlights this week with WOTM's broadcast of the game of the week last week between Mountain Brook and Homewood. Here were the highlights. Mickey Shadricks and Gerhard Mathangani.
Thursday night lights from Waldrop Stadium in Homewood turned into a blowout tonight. Mountain Brook in a big 6A Region 5 matchup with Homewood, winning at 49-14, essentially capturing the top seed in 6A Region 5. I tell you, Coach Chris Yeager's team from Mountain Brook, Gerhard, they are trending in the right direction right now.
Do you have your best when the best is needed? That's the question going into this one because, as you said, a quasi-region championship game, they had their best when it was needed. It really started off early with a nice power punch with the running game early, mixed in with the pass as well to be able to get themselves this victory. We'll show you how they did it. Really a strong running game. The entire first series, essentially all runs. Here, a really strong running play there by Jake Thompson. That drive capped off by the 2-yard touchdown run by Will Waldrop. He had a phenomenal day, an early 7-0 lead. Then they go to the air because the play action works. Colvin to Sims Brown, 15 yards. But then Homewood was able to put together a nice little drive and get inside the end zone, get some points on the football on the board. Ray to Charlie Reeves, 8 yards, but then a big hit here by Cole Gamble. 37-yard touchdown run, a 21-7 lead in the second quarter. But then we see the connection once again. Colvin, Brown, that time a huge big play through the air. And then Homewood able to get a touchdown here. Woods Ray over to Charlie Reeves. Busted play that goes a distance, 67 yards. Homewood has some life. They have some fight going into halftime. Just down 14 points. 28-14 at the half, but then it was all Mountain Brook from there. Once again, that power running game really helped out the Spartans early on. A big 62-yard touchdown run by Will Waldrop was part of the hat trick for him. A 35-14 lead. The defense really came to play late. Had a 0 in the third and fourth quarters, and then Will Waldrop there, his third touchdown of the game, a 1-yard touchdown run, and then Jack King. They started with great running, and they ended with great running.
And that will wrap up this week's David Holtzford's highlights, and that will also wrap up this week's AHSAA Weekly, presented by America's First Federal Credit Union.